Hello and welcome to what I believe is the fourth. Is it the fourth episode, Zach?
I think so.
Fourth episode of the second season, Gem City Gridiron Roundup podcast. As always, I am your host. Zach, go ahead and pop a top. Yeah, that's how we start the show. All right.
Episode 2.4.
And this week, we do have a guest. Two-time Cody Jubal. Sackett, how you doing, sir?
Two-time. I'm doing good, Dalton. How you?
I'm doing very well. 2 times. So we had to break away from work. Cody's going through a turnaround at the refinery. For those of you who do not know, I believe it is when a refinery takes time to repair all the shit they've been breaking for the last year and a half, where they just stop production and they fix everything.
Yep. We run 24/7, 365. This refinery in Newcastle in particular runs about 5 years before pumps and exchangers and catalysts and things like that start wearing out and can't take no more. So we're down for 45 days, and it's 6/12s for everybody until we get back up and running.
And just like the refinery, Zach's knees have to be replaced about once every 25 years. They go through a turnaround. All right. So let's get this party started. Let's do some news and notes around the league. Zach, I'll let you get started.
News and notes around our league or the notes
around the IRL football.
IRL?
Yep, in real life.
Oh,
what did you watch?
Well, obviously the biggest news of the day comes between the Tennessee Titans have 3 players test positive and 5 coaches test positive for the COVID. Pretty big scare to start, but it looks like the NFL is still going to be moving on with the games at this moment. It's definitely going to be a disadvantage for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, playing against the Steelers, but they're not going to be allowed back in their facility till Saturday, and the game's on Sunday. They're prepared to play the game at the normal time on Sunday, so the Titans are only going to have a walkthrough. Granted, it's at home, but they've talked even potentially moving the game to a Monday night game, which would be awesome, doubleheader Monday night, or even the elusive Tuesday night football game. So we'll see what happens in the next 24 to 36 hours. Got to monitor those guys. Obviously, a lot of fantasy relevant players in Tennessee and in Pittsburgh. So
did they release the COVID positive list?
They did. Nobody fantasy relevant, which I was praying because I have 2 Titans on my team. I was praying no Derrick Henry, no Jonnu Smith, no Ron.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick. Yeah, that'd be just my luck. Derrick Henry and Jonnu Smith. You can just chalk it up this week. Defensive end Daquan Jones, tight end Tommy Hudson, and long snapper Bo Brinkley.
Sign me up. Suit me up.
Yep. Sign me long snapper. I'll take a couple hundred.
Special teams play.
I'll snap the shit out of that thing.
Yeah. So nobody fantasy relevant. They're still doing some contact tracing and whatnot. They've also sent home the Vikings, but they had no positive tests. So it seems like it's just those 5. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning. If there's any more positive tests, then we'll really do. If there's no more positive tests tomorrow morning, should be good to go. But we'll just have to wait and see.
All right. So got that out of the way. Looks like there will be games regardless because the NFL said, fuck you to Rona. They don't care.
Yes. Yeah, good.
Did you already mention at this time there are 0 Vikings players who have tested positive?
Yep, 0 Vikings players have not tested positive. So they're just waiting on the contact tracing on the Texans. Or not Texans. The Texans play the Vikings this week. But only thing on the Titans are just those coaches and players right now. So should be good to go.
And for those of you who might have missed this in the telecast watching football so far this year, if you notice, all of the players are wearing these wristband things that have these little squares on them. And it's this technology that's like a contact tracing thing. So if it logs where everyone was and who they were next to at all times. And if they were next
to that your cell phones don't.
Yeah, exactly. And if they were next to him for far too long, then it like beeps red and starts vibrating or some shit. I don't know. I saw a commercial on it. I think it was the first Sunday night game.
Well, maybe all these guys, if it's just these three, maybe these guys are the left out. Like they play left out on the bench and second string long snapper, third string defensive end, and who's the other one? and like fourth string special teams tight end.
Looks like you can only get the coronavirus from warming the bench.
Yep.
The backups get close there on the pine.
Slapping all the high fives.
Yep.
All right. Did anybody watch the Thursday night game?
Yes, a little bit
No.
at the end of it.
Break it down for us. What'd you see?
I saw Ryan Fitzmagic going off again,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow some dude named Myles Gaskin is getting all the work,
Mm-hmm.
and Gardner Minshew looked like trailer trash. No, I caught the end of the game, and it was pretty much over by then. But I don't know. Ryan Fitzpatrick looks pretty good right now. I think Tua's going to ride the pine a little bit longer, too.
Which is fine because I'm not even 100% sure he's 100% healthy.
I don't know. I haven't heard any bad things out of practice out of him, but
That's the problem with no preseason.
Yeah.
you know.
All right, moving on to the Bears-Falcons. Falcons blow another lead. Thank God no one in our league is a Falcons fan. I hope you're not. Ugh.
Man.
Yep,
Not
it was
anymore.
a Nick Foles comeback game once again. Mitch
Yeah.
Trubisky got benched at halftime, I believe.
First series after the third quarter threw a horrendous pick, and they said, fuck it. Might as well put in Nick Foles.
And it has been announced Nick Foles will be the starter for all you who had Mitch Trubisky on your roster. That's probably nobody.
Sackett did.
Unbelievable.
Funny story. So Sackett and I, we're in another league that I'm a part of that I invited Sackett into, and we played this last week. And he picked up Mitch Trubisky Sunday morning, and it fucked him because he lost. Now Sackett's 0-3 in that league.
Been a rough one.
Yeah, that's been a rough one. But free Allen Robinson. Let Nick Foles feed Allen Robinson
I think that's going to happen.
Jimmy
think
Graham.
and Jimmy Graham. Fuck.
I think Allen Robinson's going to be pretty scary the rest of the year.
Yeah. No
Oh,
doubt.
David Montgomery's looking pretty good, too, with Tyreek out the rest of the year.
Yep.
That's true. Oh, yeah, Tariq Cohen, he's out for the year, torn ACL. I'm sure whoever owns him already is aware of that. And you can just drop him. Just get rid of him.
Tough news. Just dirty play. I mean, not dirty, but special teams just got pushed into him.
For Calvin Ridley owners, it looks like they really hope that Julio Jones is out for the next couple weeks because, oh, my God, he went off.
Shit, I mean, well, the thing is, like, he's gone off the last 2 weeks with Julio in the lineup. Like, there's a real debate, like, is it Julio or is it Calvin Ridley? And, I mean, you can make the argument that it's Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is catching the touchdowns. They're targeting him deep, and he's a bona fide wide receiver one. No doubt about it.
That's great. So all the hype at the beginning of the year was correct.
Good job, Brinkman.
So, next game, Rams-Bills. I watched almost this entire game. It was very, very entertaining. The Rams offense was getting shut down by the Bills defense early, and it looked like it was going to be a huge blowout. And then the Bills tried to throw the game.
They almost pulled the Atlanta Falcons.
Absolutely.
Circling the wagons.
They were unsuccessful at throwing this game away as Josh Allen marched down the field. He got gifted a pass interference call, which led to the touchdown pass to Tyler Kroft. Just barely caught it in the end zone as he was leaping.
Yeah.
White man can jump, I guess.
Yeah, they would have had another play.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, the pass interference gift to the Buffalo Bills got them the victory.
What point did John Brown leave the game? I saw he put up.
He didn't leave the game.
What?
He didn't leave the game.
Yeah, he did. Late third.
Oh, did he? Okay, my
Late
bad.
third. He's
I
been.
just saw he put up a donut. So
Yeah, he was missed a little bit of practice last week of the foot injury. So they re-aggravated it late fourth or late third.
He's probably your classic decoy.
Yeah. Viable option. I mean, they're throwing the ball all over the yard with him and Diggs and Beasley, and they're They're all starters right now.
Browns. Go ahead. Sorry.
There you go, Drew.
There you go,
Circle
Drew.
back.
Browns finally win a game they're supposed to. They knock off Washington. I didn't see anything on that game at all.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of that game. I just stayed at my house this week, so I only got to watch a few games this week.
Steven Gostkowski gets the game winner against the Vikings. I believe he had 6 field goals.
25 fantasy points. I had
6
him on
field goals.
I had him on one team, and I kept getting these notifications that he makes another field goal. I'm like, is this like a duplicate? Like, this is like no way. And I've opened it up. He's got 25 freaking points.
What didn't somebody in our league pick him up just a couple days before this?
Yeah,
week?
Brinkman has him too.
Oh man,
Did he play him? I didn't look at it.
He did. He got away.
25 points out of a kicker. We love kickers.
Oh
Did
yeah,
he-
bonafide kicker won last week. I'm pretty sure he scored more than. Let me pull this up real fast. I want to see this. So his 25 points last week was a 10 points more than kicker 2. If Gostkowski was a running back, he would have been running back 1, 2, 3. He'd been running back 7.
That's wild.
Running back 7 was James Conner last week, 24.9 points.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Patriots wallop the Raiders. I'm sure, Cody, you got to be pretty happy about that. Early on in this game, it did look pretty damn close. Raiders offense was doing very well. And then they kind of just got stagnant, and Cam just started slinging it all over the place. Cody, I'm sure you watched this game.
Yeah, watched it start to finish. That's kind of why I had a hard time following the other 11 o'clock games. And they had me nervous for a little bit. Our defense definitely looked shaky. We got a lot of young players. Our run defense is picking up a little bit. But offensively, we look pretty good. It's going to be hard to stop Cam this year.
Absolutely. So the Raiders get some garbage time work from Hunter Renfrow. He scores 2 touchdowns on the day. That was a pretty good late-round draft pick by myself. Not to toot my own horn. Moving on.
Receiver 3.
49ers. God damn. What is in my throat?
Rona.
Go ahead. Take it from here, Zach. 49ers, Giants. I'm going to get some liquid.
49ers, Giants, there's nothing more to be said than the 49ers were without 9 starters, and they still smashed the Giants. Nick Mullins thrown to Jordan Reed and Kendrick Bourne and Jeff Wilson beats the frickin' Giants.
And even Jordan Reed got hurt.
Breaking news.
Jordan Reed did get hurt. No doubt about it. Uncle Jordan Reed out 6 to 8 weeks again.
Knee injury again?
MCL sprain. But they're just so bad. They played the Giants or the Jets.
Giants.
Needless to say, I mean, they're just Niners are still good. I mean, regardless of who they put on the field, like trust Kyle Shanahan to put all those offensive playmakers in the right spot. And we got against Adam Gase, who's going to be fired in 2 weeks.
Probably. When is the Jets bye week? Because that's when Adam Gase is going to get fired.
I've heard rumors if they lose to the Broncos and who's their freaking quarterback this week? Ripken or something? Brett Ripken.
Mark Ripien.
Yeah, whoever the fuck that is. If they're talking, if they lose to them on Thursday Night Football, it's essentially a mini bye because they play the Thursday night game. They said he's fucking toast. Get him out there.
Don't you say whoever that is? It's Pride of Boise State, man.
Who cares?
Long line of Boise State passers. It's been good.
Yeah, not many of them are quarterbacks in the NFL. One's the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys.
Kellen Moore, lefty, slinging lefty, threw 5,000 yards like every year.
Yeah, not exactly. Getting much in the NFL there.
Texans, Steelers handle business. Zach, did you watch this game?
I didn't. I followed it along closely. I didn't watch any of the game, but I know the Texans jumped out early. Got a couple easy touchdowns. David Johnson got one, and Randall Cobb got one, and then Pittsburgh turned it on in the second half and smothered Deshaun Watson.
All right.
Deontay Johnson did go out with a concussion. Definitely cost me my game this week. Went out in the first quarter with a concussion, but hopefully not too long. Otherwise, they look great. I mean, Juju looks good. James Conner looks good. Ben looks good. Like, defense looks great. They'll be a force to reckon with in the AFC.
I think it's interesting to see how many targets Juju's getting. It seems like Deontay is kind of the
Deontay's leading the team in targets and target share. So,
how many targets did he have this week?
Deontay?
Yeah.
Just one. He got knocked out in the first quarter.
Oh, okay. Man, that sucks.
Yeah, he had a concussion. He had one incomplete. He had one target, and then he had like one rush for like 9 or 10 yards and got a concussion. So he only ended up with 0.9 points. So got called out early. He's in concussion protocol right now. We'll see how that goes. Again, Pittsburgh might play on Sunday. They might play on Monday. They might play on Tuesday. It's going to be kind of hard to plan that out if
now
cleared.
Are we gonna have to do a stat correction if they play on Tuesday?
Yeah, so I've listened to a bunch of different podcasts. Like, I've listened to NFL and ESPN. Like, there's been a few times in the past that they've moved games to a Tuesday. Like, there was one a couple of years ago. There was a really bad snowstorm in the New England area that they played on a Tuesday. And then remember a couple of years ago when the Minneapolis Dome collapsed, collapsed, they moved that to a Tuesday. So it'll still count for the previous week. It won't be like you get 2 games in a week, but it'll still count towards the previous week. So if you have Steelers or Titans and they play on Tuesday, like, you'll just have to monitor them, especially if they're injured. But like, they'll play this week. It just depends on if they're going to play on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday.
Fair enough. All right, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to find an interesting stat on the fly here. We don't have a producer, so I'm sorry. I'm not really paying quite that attention. I'm being a terrible host.
What are you looking for?
So I skipped this game intentionally because I wanted to talk about the Bengals-Eagles ending in another tie. The Carson Wentzes are pretty irrelevant. Now, what I'm trying to do is I am looking for how many times the Eagles and Bengals have tied.
They've tied. I know they tied a couple of years ago.
Right, because it was Donovan McNabb was the quarterback, if I remember correctly.
Homer and
Yep. And they interviewed him, and I was like, nobody fucking likes a tie.
They should. No offense. I mean, if you're gonna kick a 58-yard field goal, just kick the 63-yarder. Fuck, who cares? If you're gonna kick a 58, you got to be able to trust your kicker to make a 63. I mean, the punt, like, at that point, it's going to be a tie because Cincinnati's not going to. You pin them at the 8-yard line. They're not going to sling it down the field. Like, just kick the 63-yarder. I mean, Jake Elliott's a good kicker. Like, just kick. I mean, same thing happened last week with Butker. I mean, it was a 53-yard field goal. They get a false start and then
drilled it.
Andy Reid trots him back out and he kicks a 50, 58 or 59 twice. Like, that means they just don't have the trust in the kicker. I mean,
Harrison Butker is the best kicker in the NFL right now.
Yeah, but Jake Elliott's not bad either.
Man, I really want to change the name of this podcast the Kicker Pod because, God, we love our kickers.
We love kickers. We know a lot of kickers.
Speaking of which, I'm really hoping I get to pick up this kicker. I think I'm going to move on from my current guy and pick up this other guy that I'm not going to mention, but he is killing it, and I love him.
Well, we got a couple kicker injuries this week.
What do we got?
Younghoe
Koo.
You got injured for the Atlanta Tryhards?
Yep. Bringing in Kai Forbath and some other folks, and then the Jacksonville kicker got placed on IR, Lambeau, and so they're a lot of rotations of the kickers.
Fair enough. Pay attention to your kickers, kids. All right, we got Colts, Jets. Nothing really to talk about there. Adam Gase is going to get fired. The Colts looked pretty good in that game, but they were playing the Jets. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yep. Nothing else.
Panthers beat the Chargers. First full game for Justin Herbert, I believe. Yeah, I don't think anybody watched this game.
I did not. I know Keenan Allen went bonkers, but
so did Eckler. Eckler had 11 catches, I believe.
11 or 12.
He had 11 catches for 84 yards, 12 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown. He's back.
Yeah, that's what everyone expects of him. I mean, he's still going to be good, especially if they're down. I mean, they're going to target him a lot.
Lean looks like a genius playing Mike Davis. Did Lean play Mike Davis in this league?
He did.
8 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. 13 carries, 46 yards.
You can't pay $350+ bucks and not play the damn guy.
That's very true.
You might as well put your money where your mouth is. If he goes for 2 points, you chalk it up as a loss. If he goes nuts, whatever.
A la Ty Johnson. All right, Buccaneers, Broncos. I turned this game off before halftime because it was that boring.
God, it was so bad.
It's so boring.
So bad.
The Broncos, I don't like watching the Broncos. Sorry, Matt, but they're so boring this year.
By the way, if anybody, he just pointed to an LA jersey behind him. By the way, I just noticed on the participants on our thing, Sackett changed his name to Two-Time.
I was hoping he was going to. I was going to try to do it for him.
That's nice. But going back to the Broncos, it was just awful. The only thing that really came out of the game, which sucked we've talked about it all year. Pat just keeps getting the injury bug. Chris Godwin pulls up with a hammy again.
He's still
probably a few weeks. What?
He's still putting up points though, Pat. 130 something again.
I know. Pat's. I'm looking at the thing, the league page. He's had the toughest schedule through 3 weeks. He has the highest points against, which is a bummer. But again, we'll get to a couple crazy stats later. But he's got a shot still. He's got a good roster. He's still. I looked at. He has 4 top 20 backs still, which is crazy. I looked at just through 3 weeks, and I'll get into a little crazy stats, but through 3 weeks still, he has James Robinson is RB5. And then he has Kareem Hunt, who's RB13. Even though Mostert's missed a game, Mostert's RB17, and he has Darrell Henderson, who's RB20. And he lost Saquon Barkley, Cam Akers, Galladay's missed games, Godwin's missed games. He's still firing. No doubt about it. He's going to have a team to reckon with, especially if he can start those, 3 backs every week. He's definitely deep at running back, and that's going to help him out.
Speaking of Kenny Galladay, the Lions win a game they had no business winning. And Kenny Galladay, if he is playing, you must start him. He is unstoppable. Babytron.
Babytron.
Cardinals, they really are going to be feeling this game come November, December because they really should have won it.
Yeah. Kyler Murray's the real deal.
Absolutely.
He did throw 3 picks. He forced a lot of balls, but happens when you're trying to win the game.
Yeah. It's just kind of unacceptable. I'm sure he's feeling it. He'll come back pissed off. We'll see how he rebounds next week.
I'm sure Cole is loving the Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins stack.
Oh, my God. Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins makes me look so stupid. I had him so far down on my wide receiver rankings.
Hopkins, first 3 weeks, 29.1, 20.8, and 23.7. He is wide receiver 3.
Really? Who's wide receiver 2 and 1?
Let's see if you can take a guess.
Sackett, I'll give you one guess. I'll take the other one.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley is wide receiver 1.
Wow, good guess. All right, wide receiver 2. Fuck, that's kind of hard.
It is.
I'm going to randomly go with Keenan Allen. I'm so wrong.
Keenan Allen is 7. Tyler Lockett is wide receiver 2.
Wow. That makes no sense.
He had a big week. Hopkins is wide receiver 3. Stephon Diggs is wide receiver 4. And Tyreek Hill is wide receiver 5.
Wow. Yep. Diggs was worth the draft position for sure.
DK Metcalf 6. Keenan Allen 7. Robbie Anderson 8. Juju Smith-Schuster 9. My boy Alan Lazard, wide receiver 10. Amari Cooper and Robert Woods round out the top 12.
That's not looking good for my prediction there. All right. Cowboys, Seahawks. I expected the boys to lose this game, and they did. They came back a little bit closer in garbage time. Still doesn't matter. The Seahawks are probably going to the Super Bowl.
Now, their defense has got to get a little bit better.
I don't think it's going to.
I know. At that point, like I don't know if they can go. If they can. I mean, if Russ is going to have 5 touchdowns every week, yeah.
Seahawks defense isn't much better.
No, I want to play everybody against the Seahawks and everybody against the Cowboys.
Cowboys, Seahawks, Falcons. Play them all.
Play them all. OBJ this week.
Well, you better hope.
Falcons or
he's playing Dallas.
Falcons versus who is it? Falcons Packers. Monday night.
Devontae Adams gonna go.
He's gonna go off.
That's a 60-plus point game.
Oh god, that would be insane.
All right,
all right. Let's move on.
Packers Saints Sunday night. This game was pretty good. I didn't watch all of it. I accidentally fell asleep on the couch, which I'm known to do on Sunday nights. Would someone with a little more expertise on this matchup give some breakdown, please?
All I can say is Aaron Rodgers, man, he's going off this year. All the Packers are going off this year. Aaron Jones, Allen Lazard, Devontae Adams. I mean, they're going to go nuts.
You know what impresses me is them doing it without Devontae right now, though, because last year when they lost him, their offense went fucking to shit.
Yeah, I mean, Allen Lazard had a big game. Robert Tonyan had a big game. A lot of the tight ends got balls. Robert Tonyan.
Who?
Tonyan. Not a big game. 5 for 50 and a touchdown. But the running backs are playing good. You know, yet free Aaron Jones. I mean, shit. I mean, he's one of the best backs in the league. Just give him the ball. MVS had a quiet game, but Aaron Rodgers is just lighting folks up. They're averaging like 40 points a game.
Was this week the crazy Alvin Kamara play, or was that the week before?
That was this week. Like he
that
took
was
a little screen pass and scorched folks.
That was so nasty.
Oh my god! I was like, you gotta be kidding me. He's RB1 right now.
Yeah.
He's been what's he averaging, like 40 points a game or something?
He is. I have it up
31
right
maybe.
He is averaging. Oh man, it is a lot of points through 3 weeks.
38, 40.
He's trying to outpace his entire season.
He is averaging 35.6 points a game.
That's insane.
Which is higher than Christian McCaffrey last year. He had 153 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 27 catches, which is 9 catches a game for 285 yards and 3 more touchdowns.
You think he's trying to break Michael Thomas's reception record this year?
I don't know. I saw this, this is bonkers right now. So through 3 games, he has 106.8 points a game. This is about how big the drop-off last year was from McCaffrey to Aaron. Aaron Jones was like RB2 last year. Aaron Jones, again, is RB2. Kamara has 106.8 points. Aaron Jones is RB2, 79.8.
Jesus.
That's like it's 10 points a game. It's ridiculous. Like he's essentially Josh Jacobs is RB6 and he has double the points.
You think that drops off when Michael Thomas comes back though?
A little bit, not by much, but I mean they're definitely like Drew Brees is check down Charlie right now. So
what's crazy is Latavius is still getting carries. I think he's averaging 10 carries a game right now.
Yeah.
There's going to be some regression for sure when Michael Thomas gets back. There's no way that Alvin Kamara can keep up this pace. Let's be honest.
But they paid the man, so he's going to be a top 5 running back rest of the way, no doubt.
Yeah, but he's not going to be 30 points a game the rest of the way.
25 points?
Yeah, I could see 25 a game.
I mean, even if he regresses, he still might has the range of outcome RB1.
Matthew, I got 2 things for you to look up for me because I know you'll be listening the second I publish this. 1, how many times have the Eagles and Bengals tied? Because it's at least 2. Second, what is the reception record for running backs? I'm guessing it's about 110.
I believe it's Christian McCaffrey last year.
That was McCaffrey.
McCaffrey had like
All right.
11 last year.
Chiefs Ravens. They turned the most anticipated game in recent memory
to a snooze fest.
into a snooze fest. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs made the Ravens look real silly.
Yeah, Chiefs are the best team in the league, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'd say. Yep. All right, let's move on to the fantasy matchups, and then we'll take a break after that.
Why don't we take a break right now?
Fair enough. We'll take a break right now. Enjoy these tunes. All right, welcome back. Missed the crack. Zach cracked open a Coca-Cola this time, or was it another Budweiser? All right, it's another Budweiser. Same style of can. Apparently, the presidential debates are going on while we record this. I think they might be over at this point. Apparently, Joe Biden keeps calling Trump, man. Listen, man.
That's wrong, man.
That's wrong, man. That's straight wrong.
Nice to people, man. You can't talk to people like that, man.
I don't know why I made Biden country, but apparently he is now.
All right.
Moving on. So we had talked about the Chiefs and Ravens game a little bit more off of the recording. Sounds like Cody's butthole was puckering and he was almost going to kill himself because Marquise Brown did nothing. But had he done a lot, it would have been a huge deal.
Yep, I played Leonard Fournette on Sunday and sat Marquise Brown and thought it was going to cost me a game against Garrett and Dark Horse team. And luckily, Mark Ingram put up a stinker for him.
All right, so that's a healthy segue. We'll go into recapping Week 3. We'll start with Cody's matchup as he described. Jubal, would you like to break down your matchup further? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now. So I was able to squeak out a win here against Garrett, 131.78 to 129.26. It was a Monday night miracle. I was down 16 points going into Monday night. He had Mark Ingram. I had Tyreek Hill. Somehow Tyreek Hill managed to outscore Mark Ingram by 16 points. I got a win.
That's some wild stuff right there. Oh, that's bad.
Cam Newton went human this week and only put up 11, threw a pick. Didn't have a crazy day. They ran Sony Michel for the first time, so he didn't have a ton of points this week. James Conner, he's showing out this year for me because he screwed me last year. David Montgomery, 7 points. He was quiet. I thought he would do a little bit more against Atlanta, but hopefully that picks up with Tyreek out.
It was negative game script.
Yeah, they were down for most of it, and the biscuit didn't help them either. Keenan Allen, CeeDee Lamb, those guys are coming through for me. Logan Thomas, that's a little bit better tight end production for me. And then Leonard Fournette is going to be hard to call that Tampa Bay backfield. But Garrett put up a good game. He, other than really Russell Gage, he got knocked out of the game at some point in that Atlanta game. That kind of hurt him.
Yep, he did. That was definitely that one definitely hurt him. Probably could have topped you if he didn't get hurt in the second quarter.
He had a pretty consistent team. Nothing. The big performer, Michael Gallup, went off against Seattle. Everybody else was consistent in that like 12-point to 17-point range, except for Russell Gage and Mark Ingram didn't show up. And if those two had, I probably would have another loss on the stack here. So,
yeah, close game. Really good game to watch.
You know what's wild? T.J. Hawkinson right now is tight end 10.
I know.
Or 9.
Wow.
9, excuse me.
That's wild. And he's only averaging like 10 points a game.
Yeah.
Have you watched many Detroit games?
I have.
I try not
to. I actually have.
He's such a talented tight end, and it's like they cap him at 5 targets. Like that guy should get 10 targets a game, but they don't throw more than 5 targets to him.
Yeah, he's real talented. Yeah, tight end 9, and he's scored 16.6, 12 point, 10.2, and 9.3.
Then I was watching part of the game. I had the game mix on from Sunday Ticket, and I was watching the Pats game. Because was the Lions Cardinals, was it an afternoon or morning game? I think it was an
afternoon game.
Was it? So I was probably watching the Seattle Cowboys game then. And out of the corner, I saw a big white guy score on the screen. And I was like, oh, fucking TJ finally got a score. And nope, it was Jesse James.
They're pretty similar.
So I guess I'll break down my matchup now.
Go for it.
I was killing lean for most of the weekend, and then the afternoon games happened, and he tried to come back with Mike Davis scoring 23.1 points. Going into Monday night, I only needed 4 catches and 42 yards from Travis Kelce. I went to the gym, came back home, got to see all 4 catches, and then I basically turned the TV on mute because the game got pretty boring, as we discussed before, and I had won both matchups before halftime. So,
Are you a little nervous about Josh Jacobs? He had a super big first week, and then he's just cooled off completely.
You know why I'm not nervous about him? Because the touchdowns will come. The production is like identical every week.
Yeah.
4 catches, 3 catches, 3 catches. The first week he had more receiving yards, 46 receiving yards, and then he went 17-12. But the rushing production is like exactly the same. 93 yards on 25 carries, 88 yards on 27 carries. They won both those games, and then 71 yards in a losing game. The touchdowns will come. I'm not worried about him at all.
I think it's mostly going to be game script driven. If they have to get away from the run because they fall behind, you're not going to run in the red zone as much, and that's kind of where he's going to thrive in those 20 and 30-point games.
He's going to be good for about 6 points per game from the receiving game. It's all going to be dependent on how many touchdowns he can score this year.
Your big winner of the week was definitely streaming the Colts defense. That got you the win for sure.
You know, you say streaming, yet I drafted that team.
I know, but they haven't been great.
I looked at their defense number 1, bro.
I know, but they only scored 4 points against Jacksonville week 1,
15 against Minnesota, and 26 against the Jets.
And then 15 and 26. But that took real guts to play them against Minnesota. Like
I'm playing the next 3 weeks.
I know it was only 1 week, but it took guts.
I agree. It did take guts to play them against Minnesota after the week they had, but Minnesota's been that bad ever since.
Yeah, but Minnesota was bad for 1 week. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it's a 3-week sample size, but Minnesota's bad.
Go ahead, Jubal.
The injury bug got you a little bit. You lost Dallas Goedert for a few weeks there, huh?
Yeah. Do you have an update on that, Zach? Do we know how long he's going to be out?
Broken ankle.
Oh, broken
Fractured ankle.
Oh, it was minor
fractured,
right?
Fractured ankle, yeah. It is. I can read you the little script.
Speaking of which, is there a new Roto World app yet? Because I know NBC Sports discontinued the relationship.
Did they?
Well, I mean, the app doesn't work on my phone anymore. Do you know of a new Roto World app?
I do not.
All right. That's inconvenient as hell.
Sorry. All it says is –
Look that up.
Goddard.
Matt, look that up.
All it says is expect to miss at least a couple weeks. Eagles won't hit their bye week till week 9, leaving Goddard ample time to return to the field before the extended break. They're calling it a fractured ankle, but
so I've got an IRR spot in my other league, and he's my starting tight end. And I have to sit him for 6 weeks if I throw him on the IR. Would you suggest that I do that? I don't know what a fractured ankle does in terms of timetables.
I would just if you have to take him out 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I would just drop him then, because then you can pick him up after week 3 and take him back.
Well, here's the deal: it's in a capped running back wide receiver league, so there's no point in dropping him.
But he might come back in 4 weeks.
Well, it says after surgery, patients are typically not weight-bearing for 4 to 6 weeks until the bone heals in a fractured ankle.
But if you put him on your IR, you could always drop him. So.
Well, I mean, he's going to be out for guaranteed 6 weeks if I put him on the IR. Anyway, you were no help. I'll make a decision on my own, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right. So moving on to Heath against Blaster.
Yeah.
Heath moves to 3-0, and Blaster drops to 1-2, 152 to 128. Big game from Russell Wilson. Austin Eckler's back. Miles Sanders has as many points as we expected him to have. Juju picks up the slack with Deontay Johnson getting hurt.
And
Zach's favorite wide receiver in the world, Alan Lazard, puts up 26 points. The rest of his team was pretty terrible. However, he did leave a shitload of points on the bench.
Yeah, he almost walked away with the Damon Award this week, but he did not. And Blaster put up a good week, just couple duds. Jarvis Landry, kicker defense, put up some duds. But
good for him. Ayuk went off.
He did, and he did not play him. He played him last week.
No, well, I mean, who would have?
He played him last week, but he had to play him last week.
So hopefully Ayuk can continue that success.
Yeah, Blaster's gonna be just fine. I know he's 1-2, but he'll be just fine.
All right, moving on. We got Stuart Brinkman taking on Drew. Drew falls to 0-3. Brinkman gets his first. Is it his first win? Yep, it was his first win. Moving to 1-2. 134.02 to 106.34. Another big game for the Buffalo fan.
It looks like
Josh Allen.
Drew is still the highest. Oh wait, no, never mind. He is not the highest scoring 0-3 team anymore. Lean is still the lowest scoring 0-3 team. So he's got to pick up a dub this coming week. We'll preview that in a minute.
Which, based on Drew's starters this week, I can't even believe he scored 100 points with how bad his team performed.
I know, that's wild.
Jimmy Graham scores 24 points. No wonder you guys were mentioning him. He's currently tight end 7, 11.5, 2.8, and 24. Wow. I wouldn't suggest starting Jimmy Graham.
I would not either.
I wouldn't suggest starting Jimmy Graham next week against that stout Indianapolis defense, currently number 1 against the tight end.
But then the Hooker got put on IR. That was their tight end killer right there.
True.
Malik Hooker.
That's true.
All right, I will recap the final 2 games of the week. I was not able to conquer the undefeated team and make it to 3-0. Cole ended up topping me 157.8 to 146.5. He definitely had a solid week all around. He ended up coming back on Monday night. He only needed about 12 or 13 points between 2 players. Ended up getting the dub. Pretty solid week for the both of us. I lost Deontay Johnson early in the game. He put up a solid week. No qualms about it.
You know what sucks?
What?
Would you have won if DK Metcalf didn't throw that fucking ball at the end zone? It would have been close, huh?
It would have been close, but I mean, even if you counted, it would have been +8 because the touchdown plus he lost the fumble. So it only been +8, but I lost by 11.3, so it wouldn't have mattered. And he might not even
right.
He might not even cut the last touchdown. You never know. But DK Metcalf is a freaking man. Like, start him every week.
Joe Biden alert.
What?
Man. He's a man.
That's a man. But he had the Kyler Murray, Hopkins stack. He's got the 2 rookies rolling, Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's gonna be just fine. He'll be a tough one to reckon with. Got a tough matchup next week, but we'll talk about that. And then
update on Chris Carson.
He's got a knee sprain. They're not ruling him out this week. I'm hoping he plays this week, but I wouldn't blame them if they didn't play him. They're playing Miami. They probably don't need him against Miami. Crossing my fingers for him to play against Miami because little forecast, I'm playing the deputy commish this week. I want him to play against Miami. So
Carlos Hyde should be played in DFS and wherever you got Carlos Hyde, plug him in.
Yeah, one-hit wonders. Drew has Carlos Hyde, so he might get a big game for him.
It's one of his many backups.
And then the last game of the week that we have not recapped, it was my brother moving to 3-0 against Pat. Pat's, again, scored 135 plus for the 3rd straight week. Battling the injury bug like we've mentioned. Luke was able to move on 156 to 136. Luke got 3 humongous games from Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb, and Tyler Lockett. Everybody else, Lamar Jackson was his 4th highest scoring player at 14.18. Everyone else, single digits, and a 0 from Smokey Brown. I want to share this little fact. Luke Snapchatted me on Monday morning after everything. And I told him I was going to bring this up on the podcast, so he knows it's coming. He Snapchatted me.
You got to do it in his voice.
I can't do that.
All right, go ahead.
So he's like, you want to just order my Kamara jersey now?
Oh man.
Oh, I was like, that's a bad juju right there. I said, honestly, yes, Kamara had a good week. Chubb had a good week, and Lockett had a good week. Other than that, this is before Lamar Jackson played. I was like, your fourth highest scoring was Adam Humphries at 8.1. I was like, I wouldn't be talking so much trash right now. I know Kamara had a big week, and I know you're 3-0, but you know what happened last year? He started talking trash, and the bad juju hit. So I'm just reiterating to the folks. Luke's already calling out. He's 3-0. He's the number one team. He's got the most points. He's got the number one player. It's bad juju. He sent me that Monday morning. You want to order my Kamara jersey already? Let's just call it.
Listen, man, you don't show up to the draft one year and you don't get super drunk and you draft a good team. Good job. Do it again. All right.
Solid team. He's got a little bit of injury bug right now. He's missing A.J. Brown, Henry Ruggs, John Brown's battling a little bit. But, I mean –
sober one time, all right? We'll give you a 3-0 start.
So, but that can forecast into this next week. We got a big matchup. We have Cole versus Luke, both 3-0 teams. One team's going to be 4-0. Early projections have Cole with the dub, 141 to 134. So we will see how that plays out. But – I mean, that's definitely – we're going to have one 4-0 team, and we're going to have one 0-4 team.
We got the Energy City Bowl, myself versus the commissioner. Currently, he is projected to win 142 to 128. However, I have still not removed Dallas Goedert from my roster.
Correct. So that'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm banking on, obviously, Devontae Adams coming back, playing against him.
I have not looked at matchups whatsoever on that matchup, but
and we'll see what happens with waivers and stuff. Obviously, this is recorded before waivers hit.
Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so this is obviously done before waivers. So obviously, Dalton might make some moves. I might make some moves. So we'll have to wait and see how this goes. But early projections, even if you swap out Goddard, say you swap in Justin Jefferson, give yourself another 13 points. It's probably gonna be a pretty close matchup. 140 to 142 right now, still in my favor, but not too bad. It's gonna be a close game.
I got Devontae Parker versus Seattle. I like that.
Yeah, I do.
All right, next we got Stuart Brinkman taking on Heath. Heath's currently 3-0. Current projections have the Brink beating Heath by 6. Excuse me.
And then we have the matchup of the 0-3s. We have Patrick and Lean. Projections are a little wonky right now. Pat's not expected to have Chris Godwin and his kicker this week, so the projections are a little off right now. He's getting zeros from both those positions. It's going to be definitely a close matchup. Definitely have to see what happens with the waivers and everything. But 0-4, that's pretty hard to come back from. Did a little research this morning. 0-3 teams.
Go ahead and bring this up. I'm excited to hear this.
So over the first 6 years of the league, there are 8 teams that have started 0-3. 2 of those 8 teams made it to the playoffs, both in the same year.
Wow.
That was 2017. Brinkman and Luke both started 0-3 and ended up making the 6 and 7 seed. But other than that, like 0-3, it's hard to come back from. 0-4, I'll look for a stat 0-4 next week, but I think 0-4, you're pretty much done. At least to make the playoffs. It's hard to come back from 0-4. I know when Brinkman came back, he started 0-3. He actually started 2-5 and actually won 6 in a row.
Wow.
And he was one of the hottest teams coming in the playoffs as the 6th seed and still finished 8-5. So
it can be done.
It can be done. You got to win this week. It'd be nice to get to 1-3 and keep chugging along. Definitely, I've looked at And for some reason, it's always how it works out. The division I'm always in has the highest scoring freaking teams in the league. Both Luke, Cole, myself, and Dalton. Dalton is the 8th ranked team at 473 points, more than any other team in the coronavirus league, the Corona division on the other side. So obviously our division is definitely going to get beat up on. Pat is, I think, the 5th or 6th highest scoring team. So he's definitely had a tough road. Our division is definitely going to be tough down the stretch.
Yeah, that's wild. All right, moving back to, did we already do the Blaster versus Dark Horse?
We did not.
All right, Blaster versus Dark Horse. Current projections has Dark Horse beating Blaster 132 to 131. A very close matchup. Looks like some tough matchups. Aaron Jones should go off against Atlanta. Adam Thielen's got a decent matchup for Dark Horse. Hopefully Jamison Crowder is ready to suit it back up for Dark Horse as Adam Gase holds on to his job for a couple more weeks, maybe.
Back-to-back limited practices for Jamison Crowder should be suited up against Denver.
All right.
Oh, we got Sackett versus Drew.
Want to go ahead and break down your own matchup there, Sackett?
Sure.
Very close matchup based on projections here.
Early projections are showing 120 to 119 in favor of me. He's got a handful of people that are questionable. He's got Jones, Zach Moss, and McKinnon in his lineup right now. I'm not sure if any of them are playing. McKinnon I think, is.
Yep, and he's got Jordan Reed on IR, Jalen Reagor out, Josh Gordon suspended. Luckily, he's got Carlos Hyde, like I touched on earlier.
Who did the Bills play this week? That's what I need to know.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. They suck.
You got a chance, Drew.
Hey, you know what? I kind of like Las Vegas this year. I don't think this last week was a decent I think their Saints game was a representation of who they actually can be.
Yep.
Yeah. Looking at my matchups on my team, I got some tough defensive matchups. Cam's playing Kansas City, James Connors at Tennessee, Montgomery at Indy, Keenan Allen at Tampa, CeeDee Lamb at Cleveland. There's some my tight ends playing Baltimore. Tyreek Hill's got to go in the Gilly up in New England. So I got some bad fantasy matchups this week.
True. Definitely be a tough one for you. Again, it's not out of the realm. I mean,
and finally, the 2 3-0 teams are doing. Unless we already did this one.
Yep, we talked about Luke.
My bad. Cole. So we're good.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to watch. Like I said, Luke's calling his shot already. So we'll have to see how this goes. I told Luke he's going to be on the podcast soon. So we'll have to get him on.
The Lumberjack Symphony.
Yes.
All right. You know what? I should have just done a quick Google search. I finally have the answer to this. The Bengals have played in 3 ties in their history, 2 of which have been to the Eagles. The team's tied in 2008, which just happened to be Deshaun Jackson's rookie season when Donovan McNabb was still the quarterback. The Eagles have also played to their 3rd tie in their history. Cincinnati snapped its 14-game road losing streak with a tie this last weekend.
I hate ties.
At least I know how to tie one. That's all that matters, huh? All right. Blaster. Jubal, you got anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. I think the league is pretty competitive this year. Everybody seems like they're playing pretty smart lineups, and there's been some upsets. And the draft, the way it went, definitely didn't see some of these teams jumping to the top. Luke, going with Kamara, that was a risky pick when we were drafted. He wasn't even signed yet. So a lot of, Drew running with the Bills. They're still having a good season, but somehow he's not putting wins together with that. But it's a weird year. 2020 is a weird year. The NFL is going through some weird stuff, and I think the Corona stuff could shake up anybody's fantasy season here the rest of the way.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, coincidentally, no one's actually had to place anybody on their COVID reserve list, so which has been nice. Shocking, yeah.
I don't know if anyone's into conspiracies or not, but it just seems like the NFL is like, yeah, Backup players who ride the pine. You're the ones who get the corona, and we'll just move on, and we'll get to the election, and the corona will disappear.
Wait. Dalvin Cook tested positive? No,
What?
that was our backup snapper. That was his nose.
I wish I had Alexander Madison. I can use another running back.
It's like this move. Hey man, I gotta take a pee test. Can I borrow some pee?
Do we want to touch on any waivers? I know this is going to come out after the waivers come out.
Go ahead. Let's touch on some waivers. What do we got here?
I don't know. I mean, it's all relative. There's not a whole lot of guys out there. I mean, we've seen the past couple of years since we went to like the free agent acquisition budget or the FAB.
Wobble, baby, wobble.
The Fabble. Like it's hard to spend money early because you never know what's going to happen. Like obviously the big spenders were Malcolm Brown and like those guys. It's been back-to-back years. Malcolm Brown went nuts on the FAB. It's hard to find a guy that's going to produce and spend big money. I don't know if there's anybody out there that's going to be big money this week. Running backs are dried up like crazy. Receivers, you can figure it out. I don't know. What's your guys' take? I know that the Eagles are just
looking pretty hot.
What?
The kicker list is looking pretty hot.
The kicker list. Yeah, let's go grab some Mason Crosby. He's kicker 2.
It looks like the only thing that I can find on like the main site. I don't know if anybody has Jeff Wilson or not.
No, he got a lot of garbage time.
Looks like it's just Joe. In terms of the articles I'm finding right now, it's literally just Joe Burrow. Brian Hill, if he's not on somebody's roster.
He's not.
Braxton Berrios and Greg Ward. Those are the only names that are popping up right now.
We have a couple of interesting ones in our league. So you got Zach uses Fantasy Pros. That's the draft tool I use at our drafts on my computer. And there's a widget you can download for Chrome. So on the NFL.com site, when I go to players to pick up, it'll actually pop up this widget in the upper right-hand corner. And it'll basically show me the top players according to Fantasy Pros that are available in our league. So at your QB, you got Joe Burrow, kind of like you said. Running back, they got Jordan Howard if you want to gamble on them getting to the goal line.
Well, Jordan Howard's good for 2 yards and a touchdown every week.
2 yards in cloud of dust.
Hey, Mike Evans had 2 catches, 2 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So
you're looking on that 12 touchdown one there, Dalton.
I know. I'm also looking good on the oh man, I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
It's pretty dried up. There's if I compare this league to the league me and Zach are in, there's a wide receiver and running back cap in that league, and there's some pretty interesting players still left on the board there. I kind of, from that perspective, I like having the pool to dip into whenever you need it, but at the same time, it kind of drives me nuts when I got to carry 2 tight ends or 2 quarterbacks because I can't pick up another running back.
Absolutely. I'm very happy with our format, and we'll notice some changes come later in the season where some guys are going to be available who after injuries and all that, and some more emergences. I must say I'm pretty goddamn happy with Justin Jefferson, who just put up like insane numbers for a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, we'll see if that pans out. I don't
know. We'll see how that pans out there, Cotton.
Let's see how it pans out. We're playing this week, so we'll see how much cojones you got this week.
Yeah, tremendo cojones.
Put them in the lineup. Put them in the lineup.
I don't know. Who are they playing? Should I just send it right now? Just say, fuck it, I'm playing him.
They're playing
the Texans? I don't know. I still got to look at this. I might start Gaskin. He's a safer play. Let's see what Optimize gives me.
Roby. I don't know. Would Roby guard Keenan Allen or fucking Jefferson? Roby's a pretty good corner.
So it has me benching Todd Gurley against Green Bay, even though Green Bay gives up a shitload of points.
How comfortable do you feel with Gurley? I got him in another league, and he scares the fuck out of me.
You know, I think he's low ceiling, low floor. Honestly, which sucks.
That's not good.
No, I traded for him in another league because I wanted to move on from Fournette, and the best option I could get was Gurley.
You should have traded Fournette.
No. Fournette's. I would much rather have Gurley. Did you know Arizona's number 1 versus wide receivers so far this season?
Really?
Yeah. You know what I might do? I don't think I can do that. DJ Moore's the 28th ranked wide receiver, and he's frankly pissed me off so far this year. 9.4, 20.
You have DJ Moore?
5. Yeah.
I'd play more.
You do?
So Patrick
that's
Peterson,
how bad he's been.
On what? Oh, yeah, shit, you have him in your flex. I see. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I just hit optimize.
Patrick
Anyway.
Peterson without Robbie Anderson. DJ will be in flex, so that's not a bad matchup.
It's not bad. Yeah. It puts you in the optimized lead right now.
I probably got to switch Gurley back in, to be honest. But, dude, Justin Jefferson became the 21st ranked wide receiver after last week.
That's wild.
That's insane. 4.6, 7.4, and then 30.5.
I'm just hoping some of my guys have some buttercup matchups with Chris Carson and DK Metcalf against Miami, and Adams, Atlanta, and Beckham at Dallas. So I'm hoping for some and Robert Woods against the Giants.
If Carson don't play, Dalton's Cowboys might have did him a favor there by twisting on that.
I know. If Carson does not play, I'm hurting for running back.
Gator roll.
Hey, I'll trade you Myles Gaskin, but it's going to be a hot price.
I might have to roll out some J.K. Dobbins.
It's not a bad option if he hits the end zone.
Yeah, never know. My running back depth's not great. I've thought about snagging a running back on the waiver wire, but I'm holding 2 cuffs, and that's where I'm
banking on some production.
Well, I'm banking on production. I'm banking on like one of them going down. I have Madison and I have Pollard, and they're both healthy. Like, do I pull the trigger and drop one? I know it's not ideal, but I don't know.
That's the problem with holding cuffs.
But I obviously you don't plan on Carson getting hurt. Like You're hoping one of those guys, other than one of the other guys, gets a little bit of time. But I got to decide.
Go ahead. Play Dobbins. Go ahead.
I got to decide if I'm going to make the move on a back tonight or not. There's not a whole lot of backs out there. That's why I'd rather wait. But
man, we're just terrible at this radio thing.
Waiver plays this week, but I can't share them on here tonight. You guys gonna have to wait.
Fair enough. We'll see what happens. All right, and with that, does anybody else have any last words? I think this is it.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's a pretty good one. We'll have to see how it rolls out. Any discussion on the previous week's waivers? I know some guys have spent some big money, but may not have worked out.
I think we were right on our predictions. I can't remember exactly what we said, but I believe whoever we called to be the big pickup was the right one.
Yeah, it's hard to get those big guys early.
Mike Davis.
Mike Davis is worth the 539 points.
Whew. Wow.
539.
Lean did.
Dion. So this is a recap.
He still lost to me.
This is the recap of last week. Mike Davis, 359 points for lean. Dion Lewis had a measly 2 points, cost Luke $400. Myles Gaskin by Dalton, $204. Patrick ended up doubling down and getting Darrell Henderson back for $182.
And benched him.
We expect he'd probably play him this week.
Oh, yeah, you better play him the rest of the season.
Sackett, Logan Thomas, 81. Wayne Gallman for a low 52 to see how that works out. Sackett, $33 for KJ Hamler and flips him for a trade. Also, Mike Williams for $29. Mason Crosby, who he drops. It cost him $11. It cost Drew $0 to pick up Jordan Reed. Didn't cost him much.
Wow.
Daniel Carlson, $0. Cardinals defense, $0. Golden Tate, nice sleeper for $0. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling for $0. So,
you know what? You know what the Jordan Reed one tells me? Tight end's been pretty good this year. Like there's quite a few good tight ends.
Yeah.
There's all shit.
Yeah, you could have had Jordan Reed for $0. If you wouldn't have got hurt, it would be pretty damn good pickup.
Jordan Reed. And then actually the week one waiver wire was actually pretty slim. Definitely 2 misses by little Garrett Brinkman.
Little Garrett.
Little Garrett.
Little
Did you
Garrett.
see that man's forearms? That man. Huh?
312 for Malcolm Brown, 227 for Peyton Barber, and a guy that's been add and dropped twice. I had Logan Thomas for a week and dropped him, and then second went and picked him back up, and then Lean went and grabbed the hot Ryan Tannehill. So week 2 was definitely the big waiver wire. We will see if it can top the 14 players was added on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. We'll see if 14 more players are added and drop tomorrow morning.
All right, and with that, Garrett, please don't hurt me. Your forearms are scary. And if not for the Ryan Tannehill, there's always going to be the Nathan Peterman man there on that there waiver wire if anybody wants his ass. Peterman. I love me some Nathan Peterman, man. All right, and with that.
Hey, Dawn, you should play Nathan Peterman this week.
Go
I
fuck
heard he's
yourself.
a sleeper.
God, you always get me to say at least one F word in these podcasts. I'm 90% sober, 82% sober. All right, and I still busted an F word out of there. And with that, I'm calling it. We'll see you next week.